What's up, apes? And welcome to another episode of AP Environmental Science Non-Renewable Energy and Resources. You know, the modern world is dependent upon fossils and nuclear fuels for energy, and many of the benefits of our modern society, like healthcare, the comfortable living conditions, easy travel, abundant food, we rely on a steady, accessible, affordable power from nuclear and fossil fuels. But the cost of society is really high. For example, on April 20th, 2010, an explosion and fire occurred at the British Petroleum Deepwater Horizon. It's an oil rig off the Gulf of Mexico. Perhaps you've heard of it. Oil basically gushed from this rig until it was capped 87 days later on July 15th. The BP accident killed over 11 workers on the drilling platform, injured 17 others, and released more than 780 million liters, that's 206 million gallons for us American folks, of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. Scientists from the Center of Biological Diversity later estimated that it released that at least 6,000 sea turtles, 26,000 marine mammals, and more than 82,000 birds were killed as a result of this spill. The oil spread throughout the Gulf of Mexico and it washed up on the shores of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and of course Florida. So before the Deepwater Horizon incident, the largest oil spill in U.S. waters had been in March of 1989, which was the Exxon Valdez, and that was a super tanker carrying over 200 million liters, 53 million gallons of oil, crashed into a reef off the coast of Alaska. Roughly 42 million liters, or 11 million gallons, of oil spread into the Sound, which much of it was washed up on shore, contaminating the coastline and killing perhaps half as many birds and only 1,000 or so marine mammals. The number of dead animals was so much greater than this Exxon Valdez accident because the spill occurred at a relatively enclosed sound rather than open waters. It was surrounded in the Gulf of Mexico. Oil spills remain an ongoing environmental problem in the modern world today. Some spills are caused by leaks or explosions at wells. Others are occurred when oil is being transported or by a pipeline or even a tanker. Accidents can happen even after oil is extracted and transported to a refinery. Like in 2005, 15 workers died in an explosion at the British Petroleum Oil Refinery in Texas. And the hazards do not end with production, unfortunately. After oil is refined into gasoline, jet fuel, diesel fuel, it is used to run vehicles and heat buildings. And so this combustion process emits pollutants, which cause a number of environmental and human health problems. Other fossil fuels pose even similar health risks. Like in the early 1990s, there were hundreds of accidental coal mining deaths each year in the United States. While safety measures have improved since then, mining is still a dangerous business. In April of 2010, the worst U.S. coal mine explosion in 40 years killed 29 miners in West Virginia. Long after they leave the mines, tens of thousands of coal miners develop black lung disease and other respiratory ailments that basically lead to disability or death. Natural gas is often considered to be clean because its combustion produces lower amounts of particulate matter like sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide than either oil or coal do. However, combustion still results in emission of carbon dioxide, which is the major greenhouse gas produced by humans and all of our activity. The production of natural gas also has negative consequences like thumper trucks, which generate this seismic vibration to identify natural gas deposits underground, and they can disturb soils and alter groundwater flow, causing some areas to flood and some wells to go dry. Drilling for natural gas can also contaminate drinking water. Construction of natural gas pipelines is disruptive to the environment and usually often opposes by those who are living around there in the community. And growing number of studies suggest that an unknown but possibly sustainable percentage of natural gas is lost during this whole extraction and transport process. So, nuclear energy is another non-renewable energy source. Unfortunately, it has contributed to a few energy catastrophes as well, like everything else. Most recently, in 2011, earthquakes off the coast of Japan um, resulted in a huge tsunami that damaged the nuclear reactors in Fukushima nuclear power plant, leading to this release of radioactive gases. Even when operated properly, a nuclear power plant generates radioactive nuclear waste, and storage of this waste is currently an unresolved environmental challenge. Most people think of coal miners in this top left-hand picture here, like that's what you see in the movies. Well, if you look all the way to the right, this guy right here, oops, he he's a modern day coal miner. Doesn't look too much different these days. And in the middle, we see a huge strip mining for coal area. And down at the bottom here, we can see where all of the resources for our region are, as far as, coal goes. There's deposits all over the United States, but more importantly, if you look down here to Kentucky, you can see where the major deposits are and how they're just on one side of the actual state. And that's pretty similar to the rest of the country. It really affects one area mostly than others. We use energy in all aspects of our daily lives, like heating and cooling, cooking, lighting, communications, travels, you keep going. All of these activities, humans convert energy resources and use natural gas and oil in different forms of energy, just in anything. We produce all this heat and electricity, and it's all at varying degrees of efficiency, and the environment pays the price. Each energy choice that we make has both positive and negative consequences. In a society like the United States, each person averages about 10,000 watts of energy used over 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. There's a lot of consequences for that, and we have to self-evaluate ourselves. So in this unit, we're going to look at the supplies of fossil fuels and nuclear fuel that we currently use and address some of the renewable energy resources that we use to some extent, how people extract them, and what we're going to do about our future.